My first stop in the Dominican Republic was Punta Cana. Apparently the airport in Punta Cana is one of the busiest in the Caribbean, but I was able to get out of there and on my way fairly easily. There seems to be a lot of expats and tourists in the city, and it also seems to be fairly equally divided by vacationers who want either a romantic getaway and those who want to party. It seemed like there was a pretty big party scene there. Now, I didn't stay too long, but I definitely enjoyed my stay. One of the funnier situations that happened to me was when I was looking for a hotel that I booked online. I asked two officers if they knew where it was. They said they did, and they said they could give me a ride to it. So I thought that was very strange. I asked them how much they were going to charge me. They said that they patrol the district and make sure everything is safe, and they would take me and not charge me anything. Anyway, so I said okay, and we were off. However, once we started driving, the driver said that he's taking me for free, but he does accept tips. Then the officer in the passenger seat offered me a soda. I think it was one of those Fanta orange ones. I said I didn't want it. They insisted, so I actually took it. Now, these officers had no idea where this hotel was. And the funny part was they pulled up to numerous resorts. They would turn on their loud siren and someone would run out to their patrol car, and the officers would ask where the hotel that I was looking for was at or was located. And then whoever ran out would jump on their internet on their phone and try and find it. After about 4 tries, we finally located the hotel that I wanted to stay at. And one of the officers grabbed my luggage and took it inside. And they even talked to the lady at the front desk, as well as some of the other employees. They seemed to just be checking everything out, making sure it was safe. It's kind of a strange thing. Anyways, after that, they wished me well and took off. I ran out, gave them their tip, which I think was well worth it. It was quite an experience. They also gave me their phone number and said that if I need anything to just give them a call. And I figured their number would come in handy in case I did something stupid. If I did get in trouble, they would be the first people that I call. So next up, it was Boca Chica. Now, Boca Chica is a cool little town, but it was impossible to escape these guys running around with these lanyards trying to sell you drugs and hookers. I mean, this town is very small, and these guys are everywhere. They show up with their little lanyards, tell you that they work for the government, and they have this canned pitch. They tell you that they just bought the newest restaurant, newest nightclub, and they want to show it to you. Now, these guys will actually walk blocks and blocks with you. You just can't shake them. And they just don't understand that you're not interested in buying anything they're selling. I mean, overall, they're fairly harmless, I assume. They're just kind of annoying. Except I did run into this one guy. I mean, he ran up to me, gave me the same canned pitch, and I told him that I wasn't interested. He kept walking with me, so I just started ignoring him. I guess this pissed him off. Then he started preaching to me about how I shouldn't be racist, how just because his skin's dark and mine isn't, we're all the same people. I mean, a lot of these guys speak really good English, and they've at least lived in New York. They're pretty familiar with New York. Anyway, he told me that he can protect me. He has 100 guys working for him on the streets, and he kind of pointing to these different guys. And then he says if anything were to happen to me, he would run to his car, get his gun, and protect me. And then he actually said if someone were to mess with me, him and his guys would beat the guy up, bring him to me, and have him apologize. So in any event, I really liked the setup of this city. It was convenient. It's just a little small beach town, but I didn't stay too long because it's kind of annoying with all these guys following you around trying to sell you stuff. So it was off to Santo Domingo. So I jumped on the bus. It takes about, I think if I remember right, like 30 to 45 minutes, believe anyway. But it was pretty painless, and I think it was only a couple bucks. And the bus drops you off right in the middle of Zona Colonial, which is a beautiful historic neighborhood with a ton of great restaurants and bars and little shops. Really a nice place. From there, I hopped on a bus for a couple minutes and went to an area that I was staying at called Gascue. I'm probably not saying that right, but it's just like about 5 minutes away. And this is an area that's by 2 universities, and it's really happening. It's a lot of fun in this area. It has, a lot of restaurants, a ton of like vibrant younger crowd. It's really cool. So anyway, I stayed at this awesome place, but it had like, I think it was like 4 or 5 levels to it, and there was only a staircase. So every day up and down, up and down. And the problem is at night, sometimes there's no light, so you have to use your cell phone. But it is a really nice place. So anyway, about halfway between where I was staying and Zona Colonial was this cool little area on the ocean. Now there was this exercise area that gets really packed at night, but it's generally completely empty during the day. Then across the street there are a lot of casinos, restaurants, nightclubs, even a movie theater. So anyway, this was one of my favorite places to hang out. I'd go there pretty much every day. Because it was so empty at the exercise area, I'd usually exercise there during the day just so I didn't have to wait on machines. And the ocean was really nice. Now at night, in the evenings, on the weekends, it'd be very crowded. A ton of people would go here. But in the weekdays, it's almost like I had the place to myself. Plus, they don't let people fish here, so there's no fishy smell. Like sometimes when you go to the ocean, there's like a fishy smell, but it's really clean and everything was nice. It's just a good place to visit. Santo Domingo has some of the nicest people you can find. And the area that I stayed in didn't have many tourists, so there was absolutely no panhandling or people bothering you to buy stuff from them. But there was a ton of American fast food places. I mean, there was Krispy Kreme, Papa John's, Taco Bell, Wendy's. And the good thing is most of them had a really strong Wi-Fi signal. And then one of the craziest things about this area was the traffic. And to me, it didn't have to be that congested, but there was this lady out every single day directing traffic. I mean, no one watches the signals. Green doesn't mean go, red doesn't mean stop. Everybody just supposedly watches the lady as she directs traffic. But, I mean, it seems like, everyone just kind of does what they want. And to me, it's very dangerous for pedestrians. Santo Domingo really isn't much of a walking town. People either take taxis, or whatever, but there's not a lot of people out like you see in other cities. But anyways, it's kind of dangerous crossing this every day. And if you see, the traffic just goes all the way down to the Krispy Kreme. And I think it can be completely avoided if they just would watch the lights. But anyway, now the nightlife in Santo Domingo is insane. It seems like the custom that we did, and most people do every Friday and Saturday night, we would start off at a club called Shots. The vibe is really cool. The music's loud but not too loud so you can socialize. And from here we would take an Uber or a taxi to another bar, and I just can't remember the name right now. But it was an upscale place. Also, you could talk, and it was kind of like a bar lounge with a nice outside patio. And for whatever reason, in both these clubs, the women outnumber the men, probably seriously like 2 or 3 to 1. I know you always hear that, but I don't know what it is about Santo Domingo. And then to end the night, we would go to a club called Mama's Nightclub, if I said that right. Now this place is very loud. It's hard to talk to people, but it's a full-blown nightclub. And it goes all night. I think it goes to like 4 a.m. or something. The nightlife is insane in Santo Domingo. And so for the most part, that was a weekend routine when I was there. Unfortunately, the hotels and casinos have pay-per-view boxing and UFC. Now in the US, generally you have to pay a cover or, go to a specific bar to watch a pay-per-view. But it seemed like multiple places had it in Santo Domingo, probably because there's so many casinos and they want to get you in there, and the hotel bars. But I was able to watch, this one was Manny Pacquiao versus Tim Bradley 3. Now, as for gyms, this is probably one of the absolute best gyms that I've ever been to. It's called Body Shop, and I think they have 4 locations. Not for sure on that, but the location I went to was in Bella Vista, and it was really expensive. I think it's like $12 or $15 for a day pass, but it was well worth it. It has 4 levels and a basketball court on the roof. And they also have like a small restaurant or juice bar in there and multiple gym classes going on. And as you can see, it is packed. And the machines are super contemporary. This is a friend of mine, and as you see, like each rep it counts, and I don't know what else it tells you, but definitely seems much better than the gyms I'm accustomed to in the US. And so here's Zona Colonial. They have some really good restaurants in the area. Now this is probably the most touristy area that I went to in Santo Domingo, but it still has, truly an authentic feel to it. This restaurant looked to be fully remodeled, but they preserved a lot of the character. As you can see, some of the original brick beneath the plexiglass here. Now, how we ended up here, I can't remember, but the differential between the rich and the poor in Santo Domingo is huge. This place had literally several dozen brand new exotic cars parked outside, and then inside they do not sell individual like bottles or individual drinks, like bottles of beer. You have to actually buy bottle service. Everyone there has to buy bottle service. And believe me, it was completely packed inside. So, like I said, the rich seem to be very rich there. And after this, we ended up at a park where people pretty much drink till the sun comes up. And you can see this crazy guy is dancing in the buff, and no one seems to care. I did take a video of him because I thought it was funny. But several of the local people I was hanging out with said to be careful pulling out your phone or camera, because on occasion there's, people sitting on their motorcycles, and then they'll have someone just, walk through the crowd and they'll grab, a phone or a camera, and they'll jump on the motorcycle and they're gone before anyone even knows what happens. So I guess that's kind of common there, and I believe I've heard of that in other countries as well, but just something to think about. So overall, I think everyone should check out the Dominican Republic. The people are very friendly, and as far as I saw, it was very safe. It's a very safe place. The possible downside are that there are a ton of mosquitoes everywhere, so you have to use repellent or just get bitten. And the internet can be choppy, and the electricity goes out a lot. However, certain areas, they have backup generators, so you don't really have to worry about it. It just goes off for a little bit. Other parts of town, it goes out for hours. But if you need a fast internet or whatever, just, check out. I noticed some of the best internets were at Papa John's, Taco Bell, and Krispy Kreme, and they have generators, so if electricity or whatever goes out, it just kicks right back in. Anyways, that was my trip to Santo Domingo. I hope to go back, and I truly recommend it for anyone who wants to have a good time. Guys, take care.